Hi guys, got a review for y'all. Today we're going to be looking at the HK 14650. This one is one you don't see too often. It's, I haven't seen a single YouTube video on it. You rarely see this knife being talked about on the forums. And basically I'm here to introduce you to this pretty nice affordable EDC blade. So some specs, obviously, because you guys probably aren't familiar with this. Liner lock, drop point blade, 8CR13 stainless, and the handles are black molded thermoplastic with the texture they call P30. Blade length is 2.95 inches, blade thickness is 0.1 inch, and weight is 2.2 ounces. This knife I got in a bundle. I bought a pair of knives, and this was one of them. And I'd never heard of this knife, but I just wanted to check it out. And after receiving it, I just realized it looks similar to a knife that was relatively common, or at least more well known than this particular knife. And that's the Bradley Alias. And I have a Bradley Alias too, which I got after I got this one here. But you can see how similar they are. I think it's the same design because Benchmade makes both these knives, even though this is Bradley cutlery and this is H&K. Benchmade makes all the H&K knives, and Benchmade makes all of Bradley's knives. So basically, it's all Benchmade produced. But you can see the very similar shape of the knives. They're basically the same design. This is just simply a more affordable version of the titanium frame lock one. Anyway, so this knife is really good for EDC because it's just about the right size. As I said, 2.95 inches, and that's the right size to put in your pocket. Just under 3 inches, maybe a little bit over, but that's about ideal, at least for me. And what's really nice about this knife is how smooth it is. I mean, it just opens really fast. Very nice thumb stud, and the detent is it's reasonable. I can definitely feel it's relatively, light compared to, per se, the Elias, but, this one's perfectly fine. Being 8CR13, it's not going to be the best blade steel for y'all, but, 8CR13 is a decent blade steel. I mean, it's affordable, and considering the price point of this knife, which I'll say right now is about $30, it's a reasonable steel, and it will do all your EDC tasks quite well. I mean, it's easier than S30V to touch up on a sharp maker or something like that. The coating on here is very nice, sort of matte. I like the blade shape, but the coating is a little shiny. It's not quite like cold steel shiny, but yeah, it's been coated here. You can see the blade shape here. They call it a modified drop point, as I said before. But it has this very nice attractive swedge here. I'm not sure if that's really practical for anything, but it's there if you want to like poke something, I guess. And you can see how similar the grind is to the Elias. They both feature that swedge, and then the flat grinding. Sharpness, I did not get this exactly new, but I don't think the previous user used it, and it's relatively sharp. It's not super sharp, but it's not bad at all. The grind seems to come down pretty thin. It's reasonable, because you're starting from relatively thin blade stock, so you're gonna get a relatively thin edge as well. Opening it up, the liner lock engages pretty securely. It's a pretty thin liner lock. That might be one of my beefs with it, and it's very easy to disengage, so that's probably my biggest problem with this knife. It's too easy to unlock. With a frame lock, you need a lot more force to push over the titanium, but this is like effortless. I could easily accidentally push the liner over and cut myself, I guess. But when it's open, if you wiggle it back and forth, there's no play up and down. There's a little bit left and right, but I think that's because of the flexibility, the natural flexibility of the thermoplastic handles. Yeah, you can see there's a little wiggle. The texture on the FRN scales is not very good, to be frank. If I can show you a better example. you can see here I have a Spyderco Native, and this Native here has this very nice sort of a checkered texturing, and I feel like I can get definitely a good grip on it. But when I move my finger around on this blade here, I don't really feel any friction at all. I mean, it's like repulsing my hand. So, you know, I don't like my knives too grippy, so I don't really mind that. But if you guys are, you know, gonna use this hard, you know, just be wary that you might slip a little bit around. Clip is not that great. It's very thin in profile, and it's very low in the pocket. I mean, very high in the pocket. You can see once you put it in the pocket, it goes all the way up to here, so there's a lot sticking out. And I think it's only one position mountable. Backspacer is FRN, or well, the thermoplastic, I guess. I'm not actually sure. Nobody ever talks about what the backspacers are made of, but that's what I'm assuming it is. You know, it's a relatively light knife though, so that's one of the really redeeming factors of this knife. Despite, you know, the handle issues or the grip issues, or the, you know, the clip, or the lack of detent, or I mean the lack of lock strength, this thing is very, very light. So it's very, very light weight, very easy to carry around with you. It's 2.2 ounces, which is you know, just phenomenal compared to you know, something else, I guess. The Bradley Elias is definitely at least 3.5. And basically with this is that you're just gonna forget you have it on you. I mean, it's basically it's a featherweight knife, and you're getting 3 inches of blade. So I mean, it's decent blade length for the weight. I kind of consider a good weight to blade ratio as 1 ounce per inch. I don't know if that really makes sense, but you know, this being under that, you know, it has more than 2.2 inches of blade. It's a light knife, and thus is very easy to carry around. Flicks out very easily, very smooth knife. No complaints about that. Ergonomics on the handle are good. If you have ever held the Bradley, it's obviously the same, but you know, it's not like, it doesn't have that melt to your hand type feel as the Native, but it's more of just like a knife feel. It feels like there's a knife in your hand. This kind of feels like an extension of your hand, right? Because it melds so well in. This just, I mean, it's not any worse. It's just different. Different intention with the ergonomics, and you know, a different feel overall. That's basically it, I guess. It's an affordable blade, $30. There's some bad factors, which include the, you know, the handle slipperiness, the lock strength, maybe, and the detent and the clip. But you know, these are all issues you can easily overlook, and I don't really mind them all that much, to be honest. They're all very minor problems. The only thing I can see being major is if the lock fails on you, then you're gonna get mad at this knife. But you know, I mean, it locks up solid. No up and down play. It's centered very well in the handle. Anyway, so that's my review of the H&K 14650. You know, there's other knives in the price range that are better. To be honest, like the Spyderco Tenacious and the Persistence, 2 of my favorite knives, but this knife here is a good, you know, collector's item if you're an H&K guy, but it's also a good knife to add to your collection if you know you've gone through the route of, you know, affordable EDC blades, like the standard ones that everybody talks about, like the Rat 1, you know, other knives like that. And you want to try something new. You want to try something that nobody has really, you know, has. And, you know, it's a little more tactical than your average folder. So if you're looking for something a little more tactical, but still EDC friendly, it's a really great choice. It's not my #1, but it's not the worst. Thanks, guys, for watching this review. More coming. I'll get on it now. Thanks, guys. Bye.